Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to another reaction. We are checking out V's Blue official music video. Now, before we get into it, of course, make sure to stream the original. This music video was released just about 3 hours ago. A bit of a surprise. It is not something that I expected to do, probably tomorrow, but very impatient. I'm in kind of a mood, actually. I'm feeling quite blue myself, so this is actually perfect timing for me to react to this one. Now, before we get started, of course, I've enjoyed every single one of the music videos. As this album is going to be released in music videos, we will have only one missing, if I'm not mistaken. There's Coke on my monitor that I accidentally spilled all over the table as my hand kind of shook. And, there was actually a lot of mess that I didn't notice that I thought I cleaned up. Oh, well. Anyway, I'll get to that later. It's not that bad, but it was horrible, but it's better. Anyway, I'm very excited about this music video because so far, from a musical perspective, the songs have been absolutely, if I could describe this album in one word, it would probably be like a vibe or a mood. The tone that was set is just very unique. It's very chill, it's soothing, and yet it's melancholic. The feelings that he expresses with the lyrics and with his vocals, and yet there's still something very soothing and almost like warm about the way he delivers those vocals, because he has a very unique and very deep and powerful voice that fits these lyrics incredibly well. So you're not necessarily like on the verge of collapse when you're listening to the voice. There's almost like this sense of hope, kind of. But the music videos themselves is what I was really taken aback by, because the creativity has been absolutely through the roof. Rainy Days was just incredible. Slow Dancing was really a music video that is probably one of the coolest ones I've seen this year. The whole Truman Show, Westworld, Matrix influences, there's so much happening, but yet to me, the comment section was really cool to look into in that reaction, and I really appreciate you guys' comments and everything that you talked about, like speculating and all that kind of stuff. But what I took away from that music video is almost like not having a person that you used to have and creating a world to escape. The other meaning that I kind of took from it is that it was like social commentary in terms of wanting to be in a world of your own where you're with your friends who aren't really your friends because of that Polaroid shot that we saw. It was all faces of V, but it's almost like using technology to escape AI, social media, basically longing for the privacy and the intimacy that you used to have back in the day that you no longer have, especially if we look at idols, of course. That's just an impossibility for them to have a private life, so it feels like sometimes. But like, it really felt like a cool commentary piece on wanting to do everything within your power to escape to a world where you feel like you're on a deserted island, so to speak, with your best friends, having fun. There's no phones in sight. There's a Polaroid, and that's the only thing that takes those photos and makes those memories. But yet, the actual photo that was printed is of V with other V's, basically. So that kind of like gave it away, and all of the glitching, and even the dog was glitching as well. And there was like a really interesting shot of V pulling almost like on his leash very intentionally. And I didn't think too much of it back then when I reacted to the music video, but looking back at it and seeing some of the comments, I believe somebody even said that the dog was even glitching. So like, even in the real world, it doesn't feel like the real world, which could be like a metaphor, not even a metaphor, like that's it. The dog isn't his, that's the double to his actual dog who couldn't be with him, if I'm not mistaken. But the leash itself is like you yourself are on a leash, basically. Like, the technology can only take you so far, but you're still stuck. So there's a lot of stuff that you can take from it. Obviously, my interpretation is different from you guys's, but I feel like we can all kind of like bring our own kind of like meanings, unless V comes out and like lays everything, all of the cards on the table. But I don't feel like that should take away from anyone's interpretation. And I feel like it's actually pretty cool to see how many different interpretations we can have from one music video. And depending on where you are in your life, what stage and how you feel in that moment, I feel like that music video is going to speak to you a little bit differently. So I chose to go with more of a longing for someone that you no longer have, creating a world to escape, while in the same sense escaping from the world of social media. Anyway, that was a long intro. I'm sorry. Let's get into this music video. We're checking out Blue again by V. Let's go. And also, this is the second song on this album, which is important in the order of things.
What if I show you?
Oh.
Make it on you. Green, yellow, red, blue. Whatever seems good to you. 다르게 하루. 빌려온 별들. 널 보내 모두. But baby, you still blue, 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 blue.
Whoa. Damn.
요즘에 자주 내 쉬는 한숨 You're sinking me too 다 말해줘 전부 So swing my way baby Let me close you And feel the world move Fly away, fly away Blue, 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 blue,
Holy shit. This is haunting. Huh. Oh. Oh. Okay. That's the same leash that we see in Rainy Days at the end of the music video. This is a very interesting music video. I feel like we need to actually watch this one again, to be honest. So, this is really, really interesting. It's very cinematic. It's very artistic, and I feel like there's an interesting part that is happening because somebody lets the dog go. We don't know who that is. It's almost like V went to that apartment, and I also just noticed that it's raining actually, as his world is so blue. Like the blue and like the chorus repetition and the way he extends that note is just so hauntingly beautiful. And like the emphasis of blue as far as like depression and sadness and the feeling of blue as the whole video is monotone. So whoever let the dog go, it's almost like they don't even matter. I'm pretty sure that they're even wearing a mask or something. No, it's not a mask, but they're so blurred out that it doesn't even matter who it is. What matters is what the dog represents, which is like V's second chance in life, in a way, almost as if the dog is running to represent that life goes on. As V's almost like this entire album is like battling and bargaining, almost like an expression of the various stages of grief over a breakup, basically. And I want to take it back. I want to not so much just listen to the song again, but there's a lot of very interesting things that are happening from a storytelling perspective that you don't care about the place, you don't care about the time, you care about only V and what his intentions are. He's on the phone, he's like, it immediately, it's almost like a movie. Just instead of giving us the entire story from start to finish, it throws us right into the second act or something, or right into what feels like the climax of the movie. He's on the phone. It doesn't matter who he's on the phone with, trying to find out, almost like, is he talking to someone? Is he trying to get a hold of his ex-girlfriend or something as he goes to her place?
What if I show you and make it on you?
So he went up the stairs now. There's a very interesting part with the guard, who I assume is the guard. The guard is insanely interesting because the guard runs away from V, which is very unrealistic. V runs after him as right before he was about to take what I feel like he was about to take the plant and almost like throw it in the window to get maybe his dog is actually at his ex's place. And that's what this whole music video is like getting that something back that is yours, is the one thing that gave you peace. And so you just want to get your dog back. Anyone who watched John Wick would appreciate this music video, but it's almost like the guard fucking evaporates. And Taeyang is just giving up on the chase. But yet the feelings that he expresses weren't like, it's like the guard is a metaphor for his mind telling him that it's not a good idea to go through what he was about to go through, which is potentially break the fucking window with that plant or something and take his dog by force. He was still trying to to contain himself basically and remain a decent human being that wants to, despite whatever ended this relationship, still end up being a decent human being.
Whatever seems good to you, 다르게 하루 빌려온 별.
Like the whole greenery, all of these plants is almost like the plants of their relationship that has bloom. Like if we look at the entire building, it almost feels like that's the only place that actually has any plants at all, which is also really, really interesting. Maybe there's some plants on the other side, but let's pretend that there's not. Okay, there's little plants. That's a lot of plants on this floor. Let's be honest. Damn. Oh, he was looking for the key, I'm guessing. Potentially. Which is, again, not necessarily the wisest thing to do. It's almost like he's battling with himself on how to proceed and how to get his dog back or something, as he's feeling, as the lyrics like tell the story of basically like feeling very, very blue, sad, depressed over this breakup, and as the album itself almost like expresses like the stages of grief. Love Me Again, which is the song that follows this one, as far as the music video itself goes, it's almost like V represents two versions. The one outfit, which is more on the red side, if I'm not mistaken, and one outfit which was more gold. The gold outfit, and when V looks much more vibrant, it's almost like the highs of their relationship when they were golden, kind of, pun intended, I don't know. And then the red is like the representation of red as far as like the heart, but also red the color of anger and, passion, like all of the feelings that the rawness of the relationship. That's kind of what I took that music video as, and like the two personalities of V in that one. And also, I believe that there was like a phone in the actual music video that was unhooked. So that means that you can try your hardest, you will never get that phone to ring because it's off the hook. So there's no way to actually get an answer if you were to call that phone. So it's like love is nowhere to be found. Love is no longer calling. But this music video is very interesting because it's almost like a movie of how Taeyong got his dog back. Which in Rainy Days, in Slow Dancing, I'm sorry, we see that same leash that he's pulling on. And it's almost like the leash that we see one leash that is hanging on the swing, actually. It's almost like the leash that V brought. And then there's the leash that he was actually on. So that's also really, really interesting. I like the biting of the lip too, because it's like he's trying to contain himself. He shows anger, despair, but yet like there's also like a little bit of hopelessness in there because he can't get an answer because that phone in fucking Love Me Again is off the hook. So you can call all you want, she's not picking up, bro. I'm sorry. It's also interesting, like it's almost like this is something that has been going on for a long time. Like even if it's in the same day, it's almost like he keeps on coming back again and again and again, or it's in his mind, all of the various scenarios of how this could go down. But in reality, I feel like he's really like trying over and over and over again to get an answer. And then the guard, and there's like it's almost like the camera goes slightly down towards the keys because he has the key to every fucking door, obviously. Handyman or guard, whoever he's got all of the keys. And yet, ironically, as close as V is to him, he's so far away. It's almost like the guard is kind of like also like a representation of something within his mind that is like guarding his own innocence to not make him like break into the apartment or something like that, potentially. Like there's hesitancy before he goes after him, and then he gives up on that. And then he's like, no, fuck, I need to do that. Then once again, he tries to go in. Then he gives up. It's almost like the guard wasn't even there in the same shot that he was running down, because he wasn't very urgent. There was no urgency about the way that he was going after him. It's like the guard was going down, but V wasn't like sprinting after him or something like that, which is also really, really interesting. And then V basically kind of like gave up on trying to get into the apartment, and we see that leash, which I thought was on the swing. Sorry. We see that leash, and we actually see a little bit of a heart shape, because like the only thing that is valuable to V, and the only thing that represents the love that he has left in this world, is his dog. So he is waiting by the swing, hoping to get him back. And like the style, like, of this music video is so beautiful. And then I don't know if that girl is supposed to represent the girlfriend who just let the dog go. It's almost like the dog itself, the fact that he was freed and he runs off. It's like the representation of like V when he realizes his dog is there. It's almost like he comes back to life. The shots of V going into the floor and him getting out as he's about to go after like the guard, but it almost feels like it's not necessarily happening in the same time. There's a lot of like split cuts and all that kind of stuff. It was very, very, very interesting. I'm not sure if he was looking at one point for a key under the plant, or was he trying to think about like breaking into the apartment. And then the guy that has all of the keys runs away from him, which was also really, really kind of like weird and almost like surreal. So I feel like there's definitely some stuff within this that almost like makes me think of some David Lynch kind of shit, to be honest. Something that is very, very kind of mystical, kind of surreal, kind of like very very intriguing and mysterious, as V's entire world is like completely monotone after this breakup, and you know the only thing that will bring back some color into his life in a way is that dog, which his dog. I thought that this was actually probably my favorite song from so far this album. I really, really love the vocal melody. I love the scores. There's something incredibly haunting and addicting about it that I just want to listen to it over and over and over again. And the extension on the note in Blue, the way he repeats it, and just the lyrics in general are so incredibly beautiful. But it is almost impossible to think about the lyrics when you look at this video, because it was shot. It gives you almost like this nostalgic vibe, but while at the same time feels incredibly modern, especially with the shot of V at the swing, on the swing with the split screen and all. It was really, really beautiful, as it represents like the dog, the leash of the dog, and then the form of a heart that is right next to it on the gate. And then you see the shot of V alone on the swing and it's raining. And then when he's almost like lost all hope, suddenly we see this mysterious woman let the dog go. And it was just really interesting the way it was done. It's again, it adds to that surreal feeling, because it's something that, unless like it felt like if that was supposed to be the girlfriend, or was that supposed to be someone sent by the girlfriend? I don't know, but there was like such a lack of emotions when they let the dog go. So I'm not sure if there's like the lack of emotions that his ex has towards him and she just let the dog go, or what. But there's a lot of things that are happening throughout this music video that almost feel surreal and almost like unrealistic to an intentional level, in terms of your mind is being fucked with because of how blue and everything your life is, and like the way this breakup has shaped you and basically tortured you mentally. I'm not really sure, but I feel like there's definitely a cool little discussion to have about this one, even though this music video is not nearly as intricate as Slow Dancing or Rainy Days. But holy shit, the minimalism and the black and white and like so the composition of these shots, like to me, as much as I loved the music video for Slow Dancing, I will actually say that Blue is not only my favorite song, but it's also my favorite music video. I'm just absolutely mesmerized by it. So I hope I was able to make any sense. If not, I'm sure you guys will come through in the comment section. So if you enjoyed this one, and look at me taking a 2.5 minute music video, turning it into like a 25-30 minute reaction. Hopefully it's not going to be 30 minutes, but it's going to be a long one. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will catch you all in the next one. Have a wonderful rest of the week, you guys. See you in the next one. Bye bye.